And I love his definition of happiness, because he talked about, happiness is simply enjoying the passage of time. And, another English philosopher from previous century, Oscar Wilde, talked about life is far too serious or far too important to take seriously,
Yeah,
you know?
I love that one. That's
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
And it's one of these things that, I couldn't agree more. And I will do the 8-year-old and 88-year-old question as often as I can, because part idea is like, am what I'm is what I'm doing, would that excite the 8-year-old version of me? Would they be like, "Ooh, I want to trade places with the 44-year-old version of me and go live that day because look at what they're doing. They're being helpful, they're asking great questions, they're doing something that I never imagined I would get to do."
Yep.
And then the 88-year-old version of me is going, yeah, but just remember, be there now. Because the other thing Jimmy Carr said in one of his recent, he does a lot of crowd work these days, and somebody had asked him about how they handle anxiety, and he, was incredibly compassionate, and he said, twice a day, make sure your head is where your feet are.
Twice a day, make sure your head.
Head is where your
Yeah.
feet are. And it's this idea, right? Because we don't think about this, but shame, a lot of what we've talked about in this is childhood trauma and shame about like, oh, I could have done this or I should have done this. The word should is rooted in shame. So anytime you're thinking a should thing, there's a shame element. And shame is always looking backwards. Then the other side of this is, as a generation, as a populace, we've never been more anxious ever as a human race. And anxiety is always future forecasting, fear. And so most of the time we are backwards or forwards, but we're never present. We're never in the place where we're supposed to be. And so, like you, the thing that I'm trying to do as much as I possibly can in the work, with my kids, with my wife, with my friends, is go, okay, the greatest gift I can give myself or anyone else is to be as fully present in this moment as humanly possible.